Hi guys, welcome to this new installment of video game releases. Today we will see all the releases arriving in the month of March, which in this month are not a few. In fact, we have 2 sheets full of games arriving, and therefore let's not waste time. Let's go see what this awaits us month. Excuse me if the video didn't come out on the last of February, but I forgot that February isn't from Trento of 31, so I had to say it in a hurry, and you too. You see it on the 1st of March, but still. The games start from March 2nd. In fact, March 2nd will arrive on PlayStation 5. PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One and PC. V Long Fallen Dynasty, this beautiful Dark Souls style game. But with Chinese settings, really high level graphics already with very nice guys. Definitely the game to keep in mind this month for owners of these consoles. The game will arrive in both physical and digital versions. And while this beautiful game arrives on these consoles, Fitness Boxing First of the North Star will also arrive on the Nintendo Switch on March 2nd. Let's say it should be a Ken's Hero game from Ken the Warrior, but in reality it is a kind of fitness game where you have to shoot punches at the right time, so a game of a sports game like Wii Sports, but with everyone as protagonists. The characters of the series of First, however, for the collections, the game could be interesting. In fact, it will be released both in physical and in digital version on Nintendo Switch on March 2nd, the day after. Always for Nintendo Switch, the arrival of Metroid Prime is certainly more interesting. Remastered. This is remastered of the first Metroid Prime game, which was a first-person shooter starring Samus, no longer a platformer but a real first-person shooter, very successful when it came out on GameCube. A version is also out on Nintendo Wii, and now comes the remastered version with redone graphics on Nintendo Switch. The game will be released in both physical and digital versions. And on March 3rd, and again on March 3rd, it will arrive on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. Void TRLM 2, Void Terranium 2, this strange title for this game, which is an action-adventure mixed game starring this girl with her robot. The first chapter has had. The latter will surely have a moderate success. The game will be released in both physical and digital versions, and attention guys, because there is a limited edition of this available that can be purchased in all stores, and then there is the deluxe edition instead of purchasable only from the site of NIS America. So guys, whoever wants the collection version for this game will be able to find them. Then let's go to March 6th when Dead Sense will arrive. Return to Castlevania. This, we say, expansion for Dead Sense. This game, this Metroidvania, which is inspired a lot by Castlevania, which brings us just the expansion dedicated to Castlevania with the enemies, landscapes, the music dedicated to this series. We will also find characters who have made the history of Castlevania. The game will be released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and also on mobile device, therefore iOS and Android. Naturally on iOS, Android will be released only in digital version. On all the other formats will be released, however, at the moment in a digital version, but we will certainly see a physical version. More Ada Anzi, probably produced by Marisoft, and will probably also be accompanied by a limited edition the day after February 7th. We are always on the Castlevania theme because another game is coming similar, is called Romancevania, and this is also a Metroidvania inspired by Castlevania. This time the graphics are polygonal but always two-dimensional platform type, and let's say that in this case the protagonist is a romantic, so something particular game cute. Guys, coming soon on all formats, then PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PC, and the game will be released for the moment only in digital version. We get to March 9th when quite a few games will come out. We start with an important title for this month, or Project Zero, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. New chapter of Project Zero, this horror with the protagonist who tries to kill the ghosts by taking pictures of them, and the game will also come out on everyone formats and will be available in both physical and version digital. Then Every Road to Be will also arrive. The Midnest Honey, or this role-playing game, this Zelda-style action RPG starring this little Oni who will run around the three-dimensional world all in ups and downs graphics. The game will arrive on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch and PC for the moment only in a digital version, but we have already seen among the limiteds that a physical version will also arrive later. And again on March 9th, Paranormal Sight to 7 Mysteries of a Beautiful Tribute will arrive. Horror adventure with graphics that almost seem to look rather than read a manga, beautiful drawings. The game will be released on Nintendo Switch, PC and mobile device, then iOS and Android only in digital version. Then again we remain on March 9th, a game of the sports series will arrive, and CE there are quite a few coming out this month. The first one is Monster Energy Supercross, the official Videogames 6, coming out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One racing game with Motocross now in its 6th chapter. The game will always be released both physically and digitally, and finally on March 9th Clash Artifact of Chaos will also be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One and PC. It is an action-adventure with incel graphics, very particular shading. It's not doctor shading, but it's all finished as if it were done in pencil. Really very nice particular graphics, and also the settings are imaginative. Really a beautiful game to keep an eye on coming out on March 9th. The day after, the 10th of March, will arrive on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch Justice League The Cosmic Chaos, a new chapter dedicated to the somewhat super deformed cartoons of Justice League, and this is also an action RPG with isometric graphics as usual, that is, we are used to. The game's dedicated to superheroes, altogether very nice. The game will be released in both physical and digital versions. And again on the 10th of March they start arriving too. Games for PlayStation Gear 2 indeed will come. Before your eyes, an adventure that practically puts us in the shoes of a person who dies and lives as a ghost. The post-mortem is nice. This game is coming out only in digital version. We arrive at the 14th of March when it arrives on Xbox Series X, Xbox One. Valium, a mixture between a strategic game, an adventure game and an action game with protagonists. The Vikings are strategic sessions in which we will have to solve various puzzles in the style of adventures, and session in the style of an action fighting game. The cute game to be released only in digital version on March 16th. The console version of the year 1800 will arrive, which is called precisely 1800 Console Edition, coming out on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Classic strategy game, and also strategy games. We'll see a lot of them this month, especially on PC. This one comes to console both in physical and digital version. Always on March 16th, another game for PlayStation 5 Gear 2 is the Dark Pictures Switchback, which is part of the Duck Pictures chain. These horror movie style games. In this case, however, it will be a kind of horror amusement park simulation. You will be on a kind of walking trolley. You will go to the various rooms. You will have to shoot. What comes on a similar game has already been released, always by the same producer some time ago on PlayStation VR 1. This one will arrive on PlayStation via 2 always. March 16th, the Nintendo Switch version of Session Skate Sim will arrive. This skater simulation that has already been released on other consoles now comes to Nintendo Switch in both physical and digital versions. And again on March 16th, another game for PlayStation Gear 2 is Gorn. This fighting game in arenas with super deformed characters who beat each other up like gladiators, who kill each other with various weapons. Very fun. This game released on PC now. It's coming too on PlayStation 5. And finally, on March 16th, the new expansion of The Sims 4 called Let's Create Together will arrive, for the moment only on PC and only in the digital version. On March 17th comes an important game for the Nintendo Switch owner, or Bayonetta Origins SA Surrender and Lost Demon. This prequel to the Bayonetta games that won't be your usual scrolling beat 'em up, but it's a bit more like an RPG. The graphics are also different and all in shading. It's no longer computer graphics game, coming out on Nintendo Switch both in physical version and in version digital between a beautiful cover. This game therefore for collectors to keep an eye on. Then on the 17th, Peppa Pig also arrives. Adventure around the world, out on all formats. Graphic adventure with the graphic style like the cartoon. Among other things, it is based on its own to the new film, which is called Adventures Around the World and will always be released in physical and digital versions. Always the 17th, another sportsman managed this month, WWE 2K203, the game dedicated to wrestling, which will be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One and PC both in physical and digital versions. And again on the 17th arrives on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch and PC The Legend of Hero Trails of Azure, which is not the usual, let's say, mixed Musorum RPG, but here it's more RPG with a PlayStation 1 type graphic style, even if let's say a kind of professional game. Attention guys, because a collector's edition of these will also be available, which can be purchased on the Miss America website, and therefore for collectors also this to keep an eye on. And finally on March 17th it will arrive on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Cult of the Lambs, an action RPG starring a little lamb who, however, seems almost possessed and will kill everyone. The enemies and inside arenas with very nice hand-drawn graphics. The game will be released in both physical and digital versions. A nice limited edition of this will also be available that you can buy in all the chains, so this is also one to keep an eye out for. Collectors, we arrive on March 21st when a beautiful adventure set on an island starring a girl who will live on this container on this very pretty island. Both the graphics and the type of game. The game will be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 and PC. It will be released only in digital version. It is always on the 21st. It will arrive on iOS and Android mobile devices. Night Doom, the portable version of Doom, even if with Duma, which has not much to do apart from the name and the protagonist of the game. In fact, it is a running gun, not a first-person release. In short, The usual mobile games released only in digital version. We are still on PlayStation 5 VR because The Walking Dead Saint Singers Chapter 2 Retribution will also arrive on the 21st. This beautiful first-person shooter set right in the world of The Walking Dead had a good success on PC, and now it also arrives on PlayStation 5 V, and again on March 21st it will arrive on Nintendo Switch Rem and From the Ashes. Third-person shooter in Souls style. Like, in fact, the enemies will be pretty tough to kill on the bigger consoles. It's a nice graphic. Who knows how the downgrade will be on Nintendo Switch. However, the game will be released both in physical and digital version. Let's go to the March 22nd when still on the Nintendo Switch it will come to have a nice that another very interesting game. This is a classic platformer with all hand-drawn graphics. It almost looks like a cartoon starring Death in black and white. Really nice game, boys, coming out only in digital version, but we will certainly see a limited edition later on. Let's go to March 23rd when it arrives on practically all formats with the addition of the Amazon Luna format. The Slater's New Allies will be released. Very famous strategic game. It seems to me that this is the 6th chapter if I'm not mistaken. However, beautiful game coming out both in physical version and in version digital. Naturally on Amazon Luna gives us only in digital version, and all the others also have the physical format. I don't know if a limited will also be made a collector like the previous chapter. However, it certainly held more for strategic lovers. The 23rd will be released on PC. Mr. Sighttown, an adventure mixed role-playing game with RPG-style graphics, 6 starring an animal that I don't quite understand. Looks like a marmot, looks like a salami with a marmot's face. However, very nice. This game only on release, only in digital version. On 24th it comes out. The most important game of this month arrives indeed on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X6, Xbox One and PC. The remake of Resident Evil 4, which will be called only Resident Evil 4, which showed us really high level graphics. The remakes of 2 of 3 were of excellent level. This is even better. The game will be released both in physical and digital version, and attention, because of this a beautiful mega collector edition was available with the statue of Leon as well as the collectors of 2 of 3 and Lotto, and I only have the Lotto. So guys, whoever got this one on the 300 euros is already over now that it's already around 700. However, beautiful collector for collectors. Surely this was also to keep an eye on. And always on March 24th Atelier Risa 3 will also arrive. Alchemist of the End and Secret Key role-playing game that is part of the whole saga of games, of which is part of the saga of Atelier Games. This is certainly better graphics than all the other chapters. The role-playing game is Zelda style, in which you can move freely, fight in real time against the enemies. Very colorful graphics. The game will be released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC, both in physical and digital version. Again on the 24th of March another sports game has succeeded this month. It is EA Sport PGA Tour, releasing only on the consoles of a generation or PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Umpteenth game of the PC and PGA series. Therefore, golf game with increasingly photorealistic graphics will be released both in physical and in version. Let's vote on the page. Let's go to March 28th when another strategy will arrive, this time on PC and iOS and Android mobile device. It's called Terramil, and it's a SimCity type strategy in which you will have to build your city, but what is particular is the fact that it is very green. In fact, you will have a land all ugly, deserted, and you will have to keep shaping it by putting trees, by putting rivers. In short, a particular game to be released only in digital version on 28th. Another important title for PC censor posts is The Last of Us Part 1, the PC version. Therefore, the latest remake released on PlayStation 5 arrives on PC. Naturally, for bigger PCs it will be even better to come out only in digital version. Still on March 28th, Crime Boss Rogue City will also arrive for PC, a beautiful first-person shooter that will see the protagonists, the major actors of action films such as Chuck Norris. Almost seems to relive various films of the 90s from Naked Gun. In short, beautiful game, boys, coming out on PC in digital version soon. The console versions will also arrive, and again the 28th sports game of this month is MLB The Show 23, out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. American football game, and which will come in both physical and digital versions. Let's go to March 29th. Another important title this month for owners of Microsoft systems will indeed Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure. New chapter of Forza Horizon racing game, a little more arcade, that will be released on Xbox Series X, Xbox One and PC, both in physical and version digital. We arrive on March 30th when The Great War West and From Another strategy game arrives on PC, this time a strategy game set during the First World War, to be released digitally only, and we end up again on March 30th with Dredge out on all formats, a particular graphic adventure that will put us the clothes of a fisherman, and who will initially fish normal things, then I find he will start to find strange beings. However, everything in graphics is almost like reading a comic. Beautiful game coming out only in digital version. And then I wanted to tell you 3 games that should come out this month but that do not yet have a release date, or Simon and the Source Origins, out on all formats. Beautiful adventure that should be a prequel to the 2 graphic adventures of Simon's The Sources, with a Completely different graphic, more cartoon style is not yet given. The release date is out on all formats. Then it should come out. Novelization Saga mainstream song remastered. This is also a remastered of an RPG that came out, if I'm not mistaken, on PlayStation 1 with graphics in this case with all the textures redone and cell shading. Also this will come on all formats but not yet. The release date has not been given. The other beautiful game that will have to release this month is Blanc, which is an adventure starring a fox and a deer with all three-dimensional polygonal black and white graphics. Nice game, also coming out on PC, Nintendo Switch, but even this one has not yet been given the release date. So guys, a very full month. Excuse me if I get stuck talking every now and then, but it's always the fault of this half-broken hard disk of mine that we have to change as soon as possible, but it's actually one that needs to be replaced, at least economically. Let's hope it doesn't leave me, otherwise it won't. I no longer know where to put all the videos I'm making. This sometimes freezes, and while I'm recording the speech stops. I can't do it again unless something is too long, otherwise I never finish making the video anyway. Guys, what I don't say you can see in the video in the text below, so I apologize for these problems. Let's go instead to see what films are coming out, because this is a rich month. Also in terms of SICOM films, starts March 2nd when Creed 3 third chapter of the sequel to Rocky arrives, starring the son of Creed. In short, this is also definitely a film not to be missed. Beaten Rocky, or in any case the Creed saga. Then Scream 6 sixth chapter will arrive on March 9th of Scream. This horror with this character with this white mask should be the last chapter of unmasking him. In this chapter we will see who is curious and will be able to go and see how it will end. Then on March 16th the second chapter of Shazam arrives, which is called Shazam Fury of the Gods. I like the first one a lot, guys. The second one seems equally interesting and equally funny with all the brothers as protagonists. In this case we will see how it will be in cinemas on March 16th. On the 20th I would like to point out a film called Headshot, and practically a film of a group of guys who are playing soft air, a little more futuristic with weapons that are a little more technological, and SI turns everything into a kind of survival contest. Interesting movies on March 20th of March. The most important movie of this month will definitely be John Wick 4 action movie with Keanu Reeves. That we will certainly see pure action in this film, as it was also for the other chapters. It is certainly a must for all lovers of action and science fiction films. On the 23rd, however, a film is also coming out a little more for the little ones, a film that called The Legendary Journey, made by a group of YouTubers called Dincy uppercase and uppercase together. That I don't know, but I kids children definitely yes, because I point it out, because in terms of aesthetics and graphics it seems really done the good as a science fiction film, nice effects special, so I'll point it out to you. Maybe you have some children, you can bring them look too. Go see it too. And finally Dungeons and Dragons will arrive on March 30th. Honor Among Thieves, the new chapter dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons, seems a bit too exaggerated to me. A little less fantasy is more, let's say more mainstream. Anyway guys, this is definitely interesting too. And this guys ends this episode of You Video Game Sciences. The episode will also be released in English this time, so today the episode in Italian will be released. Tomorrow it's the same episode in English with a robotic voice actor and artificial intelligence that doubles me. I wonder if it doubles me. Well, I hope so. So from now on, if I can also release the episodes of TG Games Limited and the episodes of the seasons of which also in English the next day, I don't know whether to make a new channel, maybe calling it Too Many International Schemes. However, you know that if you see the same video and it is not in Italian, you can go a video first to see the Italian version, or vice versa. If you are looking for the English version, the video after is the one in English. With that's all guys, see you next time, bye bye.